Welcome to the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast, where we're joined by your hosts, Tania Gomez and Paul Bryan. In each episode, we'll be sharing valuable insights and tips to help you turn your NDIS business into a profitable venture. So whether you're just starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, you've come to the right place. Let's stop surviving and start thriving.
G'day and welcome to the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast. My name is Paul Bryan. I'm here with my amazing co-host, Tania. How are you doing today, Tania?
I'm wonderful. It's lovely to be back for episode 75 of the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast. Very exciting. We're getting close to that 100 mark. And today we're joined by a good friend of mine, Faraz Khan from Vertex 360. And we're going to be talking about harnessing technology in the NDIS. So in case you haven't met Faraz before, he is at the helm of Vertex 360 software. He's channeled his strategic acumen into innovating compliance solutions for the NDIS. Over the past 7 years, this includes Vertex 360, which is really all around enhancing business efficiency and regulatory adherence. Faraz has a background in management accounting and analytical skills, being the bedrock of the platform's continuous evolution, ensuring that clients navigate the NDIS landscape with confidence, which is like all the words that I use in all my marketing. So it's fits really well with what I do in the audit coaching and compliance space. And it's just a pleasure to have you join us today, Faraz. Welcome.
Thank you, Tania. Thank you, Paul. Nice to be here.
Amazing. Hey, look, you've been operating in the space now for quite a while with Vertex 360, and there's a lot of providers out there that are always sort of looking at what the next thing is, and sometimes I think smaller providers struggle with it. Large providers look at large scale operations. Is technology infrastructure only for larger providers, or what does that look like?
Yeah, look, Paul, I get this question a lot of times. So whenever I'm out there in the expos talking to providers, a lot of small providers come to us and they think, when I show them the whole software, they think it's too much. And this is something for large businesses only. But the reality is we are operating in a highly regulated industry. And one of the main reasons why we have systems or electronic systems is to assist businesses in governance, right? So my idea is that if you want to get it right from the beginning. So have a really good technology system from day one of starting your business. So if you think about it, Paul, no one thinks of doing payroll without a system these days. So essentially, it's the same thing. When you're running a business that is working in a highly regulated industry, you need to have a really good system in place from day one. So 100% small businesses must think technology from day one and think of getting a really good system that will help them run the whole operations and compliance of the business electronically. Yeah,
because there's so much for a provider to stay on top of when it comes to the rostering, the finances, the HR, the compliance. And would you say that if you can start from an earlier stage and build with it, it's a lot easier than trying to jam something in at a later date, and you've already got systems in place, but trying to make something work at that point?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. So if I take example of our clients, so we've been in the market for roughly 18 months now, and we get a lot of clients who have been using different systems in the past. A lot of providers out there who have matured over the last 6-7 years, they have a combination of systems. So they will have a rostering electronic system. They will have a lot of paper-based forms, a lot of PDF forms, DocuSign going on. And then they will have like a accounting system like Xero, MyOb, and things like that. So they don't realize that the paper-based system can also be replaced by electronic systems such as Vertex 360. And what they find is once they have, let's say someone has 50 or 60 participants, they've been operating for 3-4 years. When they sign up to Vertex 360, the biggest pushback they get is from their staff, because they've already built a culture in the organization. They've already built processes around the paper-based systems. So even though the business owners see value in implementing an electronic system, they can see the efficiencies it will improve, the compliance it will help with, the staff have to face a change. And as you know, change management is a huge challenge for any business. So it becomes very difficult for business owners to implement the electronic system. It takes a long time. Typically it takes 3 to 6 months for any business to fully learn and implement electronic system once they've already matured with paper-based systems.
Yeah, that's interesting, and definitely true. It's whenever people want to make a digital change, they do have quite a lot of staff turnover, because there's staff that just don't want to be part of that don't adjust to change. So either managing that really well and communicating the benefits for them, the support workers, how it's going to make their life easier, is an idea. But also, if you can just have it from the beginning, then that's great. But I think everyone's always looking for the next best thing, though, right? There's two reasons that I see clients looking to change systems. The first is that they feel that the grass just must be greener somewhere else, that they just must be a system that does it better. And then the other reason is that they're looking at the cost of the current system, and they think that they can get it cheaper or maybe other functionality. And I guess maybe a third reason would be that they've outgrown the capability of their current system if they're growing quickly. So I guess there's not the right fit potentially. But when I've worked with clients, mostly in the education space around systems, I do find that actually they just don't know how to use their system. It's really a lack of training and understanding, as opposed to the system not doing what they want. They just don't know how to get the system to do what they need it to do. How would you, or what would you say to someone who is looking for a new system? Like maybe they're with your system now and they're convinced something else is better. How would you work with them to convince them that actually it's actually more of a training need, and they need to use and figure out how to work their system before looking to move on?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, so this software actually taught me a lot. When I did Vertex 360, we started the journey in 2021. It took us about 3-4 months just to gather all the requirements to build the software. When we launched the software in 2023, I thought this is one system that will be loved by everyone, and everyone will just in their business. But once you start talking with customers, with people, everyone runs their business differently. So I built in a lot of controls in the system to help businesses with compliance, which I had to wind back because people run their businesses differently. So when I was, and then we relaunched, and and people asked me for the system to have rostering and things like that. So we relaunched in 24 and so on. But to get to the point, what you were saying is, it is you're absolutely spot on. A lot of customers we have and we've worked with, they have either outgrown their existing system, which doesn't have the CRM component, because in NDIS sector, traditionally, the systems that were in the industry were focusing on rostering. Rostering is what NDIS providers use on a daily basis. So most of the software out there are doing rostering. They don't even have a CRM component in there. So when we built the software, we actually built from the other end. We built CRM component and left out the rostering because I thought there's already too many options in the market. But what I find is providers who are coming to us, like you said, they've outgrown the existing system, or they don't like it, or there's lack of training. So we work with the providers and understand the exact requirements they have. We think most of the times that our software will answer all the problems, but then we have to always, or a lot of times we have to modify it or change it, or have a different training sort of program for every provider to suit their needs. We often get clients who think that our system is not right for them. They've used it for a couple of months and then they think it's not doing what they thought it would do. So this is where the training, we offer unlimited free training. So we have an onboarding process of 6 to 8 structured sessions. So the account managers will take clients through that onboarding. So make sure they understand 80% of the system. But there's so many things in the software. There's so many features, little things that it's impossible to train every provider on every little aspect of the system. So we give clients a dedicated account manager who will work with the clients whenever they have any questions or concerns. We work to understand what they're trying to achieve. And then we either explain to them how it can be done in 360, or if we need to tailor it for them, we will do the tailoring for them. Does that answer your question, Tania, or did I go off track?
Yeah, no, that's good. It's good to know the amount of training that you kind of include there, and to keep people on track and to make sure that they're successful in the system.
So there's probably a lot of providers who maybe have like changed systems a few times, or maybe they're like using the baseline of like technology and they go, this is like, in order to keep my margins available, I need to look at how we utilize more. What is the right time, or could you identify some like key pain points that one of our listeners could listen to and go, oh, that's where I am, I probably need to look at this? What are those considerations, how people could assess where they are right now and go, yeah, I probably need to look at this as my next stage?
Look, so I think a rule of thumb is if you have audit coming up and you're panicking that if I'm ready for the audit or not, that means that you need a better system in place, right? So that's you can say the golden rule. So a lot of providers I work with who don't have Vertex 360 or any system for that matter, they are panicking a couple of months before the audit. But if you are doing exactly because NDIS requirements are not a surprise. When businesses register with NDIS, they are fully aware of the requirements of NDIS. So if you theoretically, all the requirements of NDIS standards should be met as the business grows from 1 participant to 50 participants and so on. But the fact that the business owners are panicking means that they are aware that their systems are not working, or they're not confident in their systems. So if that is the case, that means you need a better system. You need a system that actually it doesn't just do compliance, it actually shows you. So with Vertex 360, we've got a dashboard, which whenever you open the dashboard, the first thing you see is your participant compliance and your workers compliance. So you get a really good idea of how good or bad your compliance is, and you can work with your team on fixing all the gaps. So obviously these gaps don't get fixed overnight. It takes time because you're dealing with a lot of people of different behaviors. But at least you are aware of that compliance gaps, and you can try to close them before as soon as possible.
Wonderful. And one of the main reasons that people use systems is things like rostering. Why would you use a system for rostering? How can it save people time, money, and effort? If someone's currently not got a system and is thinking about getting a system for the first time, usually I hear that rostering is what gets them across the line, because that becomes really difficult. Is that your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to actually go back to Paul's question and I'll also bring in this question in it. So last week I went to multiple expos in Adelaide and Perth, and I met many different providers, all sizes, small, medium, large providers. And I was surprised, I was shocked at the amount of money they're paying their existing software companies. The way we've built SaaS software, or my idea of SaaS always had been that it shouldn't cost you arm and a leg to afford a really good SaaS system. One of the pain points which a lot of our customers come to us, as we all know, I was actually watching your podcast from last week. Parth was explaining the thin margins the providers are working on in these days, and having a system that is costing you $1,000 or $2,000 a month is just too much, I think, right? So in the expo last week, I met many providers who were paying $1,800 to $2,000, and they only had 40 to 50 participants, maybe 70 to 80 workers. So it's a huge cost for them to afford a very expensive system like that. And they need it for rostering. The main thing they're using these systems are for rostering. Like if you have 80 staff members and 40 participants, you cannot operate without a rostering system, right? So some of the software companies, they have a huge cost. So which is another, you can say, a barrier to entry for small providers. Small providers think it's too difficult, too expensive to get a system. So they'd rather do it manually as long as they can until they get a good system. So you're right, Tania, with rostering, Vertex 360 absolutely has rostering. Now it's very much advanced rostering. You can add group shifts, one-to-one shifts. You can have distance restrictions in there as well. So workers can't log in too far away from the participant's location. Participant signatures are there as well. We have a really cool mobile app. So the mobile app is integrated with the system. So the support plans, risk assessments all flow through the mobile app without someone having to email them manually or dragging, dropping. So it saves a lot of admin time. And support workers get all that information in one place. So they don't need to go to the emails to get the plans, and they get the rostering, schedule, and support plans all in one place.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that, when business can start to see it's not even just the rostering, but all the other things that start to tie in. When your shift notes get allocated in the right area, your compliance documents are stored correctly, easy to access and utilize, the system starts to really pay for itself, because I know we've had people I've worked with where they've realized that their system they were using at like 10 to 15% of the capacity. And then they have a chat with their provider like yourself, and they say, hey, look, I've got this problem. How can we make this work? And it's actually already in the system. It's there, ready to go. And as you've said, with some of the features of Vertex 360, is all the features are there. It's a matter of learning that they're there, how to utilize them, making sure you're not doubling up on the people that are using the software and that sort of thing. So what I'm hearing is that utilizing the technology is really a must-have. It's not really a nice to have anymore for a provider. They really need to lean into technology so that they are having their systems being efficient, compliant, as you said, around, if you're worried about audit, it might be a systems thing, right?
Yeah.
And so there's all these little bits and pieces to go together, just really highlight the fact that the right tech stack for a provider allows them to operate at a high level and be able to operate more efficiently and effectively, so they can get the right care to the right people at the right price and still maintain that margin, which is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's funny. We actually have to sometimes wind back on our features. So we get a lot of small providers who, when we show them the whole software, they love it, absolutely. But when they start implementing in their businesses, they think it's too complex. It has got too much in it. So we actually have to wind back a bit, tell them, look, okay, let's start with rostering only. That's something you need on your day-to-day basis. And then in second month, we train them in the intake forms, and then slowly we train them on the other features of the system.
Yep.
And you're spot on. Look, in NDIS sector, as you guys know, NDIS commission is coming really, really hard on service providers in last 12 months. These days, providers are being asked to, whenever the NDIS is asking for evidence of service delivery, they're not just asking for shift notes and case notes anymore. They even ask for pay slips to support workers. And they can randomly do, house visits or office visits without giving any warrant. So if the NDIS staff is there and you're looking through emails trying to find documents, you're in a lot of hot waters, right?
Yep.
So you want to have a really good system. So if NDIS walks into your office, all you have to do is open your system, find the participant, find the workers, and everything is there in one place.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today, Faraz. We've had a look at the different uses for technology in the business, how Vertex 360 helps there. If someone wants to get in contact with you, how do they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can jump onto our website, www.vertex360.io, or you can search me up on LinkedIn. that will be, I think, but better if you go to the website. You can go through the sales pipeline.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you, Tania, for your time.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for joining us. It's been great to learn all about Vertex 360, and we hope that our clients reach out to you if they need any further information.
Yeah, absolutely. We've already helped a few of your clients, Tania. So I hope they're having a good experience with Vertex 360.
Yeah, I've had quite a lot of great feedback actually. So it's very positive to hear. I love when I do a referral and it turns out well and people say it was working great for them. It makes me look amazing. So thank you for making me look good.
No worries. Thank you, Tania. Thank you, Paul.
No worries.
Thanks so much.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast with Tania Gomez and Paul Bryan. We hope you found today's episode informative and valuable. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to subscribe, leave us a rating, and share it with others who could benefit from our insights. Until next time, keep thriving.